It's time to go hunt down a Corvette C8 Z06.
This is my C8 eRay, and I am getting back in the driver's seat with it. This is a video you've all been waiting for. It's a video the entire Corvette community needs. The video the entire Corvette community deserves. Ever since I got my C8 eRay, I've been dying to actually do a video with the C8 eRay and the C8 Z06 and do a comparison, but I haven't gotten an opportunity. Yes, I own a C8 Z06. Yes, I have a C8 eRay, but they are not in the same place. One's in California, one's in Texas. So since I'm in Texas, I get to drive the C8 eRay today. And I'm going to be meeting up with a buddy who has a C8 Z06. He's coming from Houston all the way up to Dallas. Big thanks to Richard. Make sure you follow his YouTube channel. We'll put it down in the somewhere below where my head is right now. We are going to do a supercar comparison video just like I've been doing recently. You saw me do it with the Maserati. You saw me do it with the Lamborghini. You saw me do it with the Ferrari 458. Let's hear what this Ferrari 458 sounds like. And now, you get to see me do the supercar comparison with the C8 eRay and the C8 Z06. eRay is such a monster. And the time has come. I have just made it. We got the C8 eRay right here and the C8 Z06. Today is gonna be a ton of fun. So this is what we got going. Just like you've seen in my other supercar comparison videos, we are gonna compare the C8 Z06 and the C8 eRay. So now, I got the C8 Z06 here and the eRay. We're gonna do an audio check. We're gonna check the exhaust. We're gonna see which one do you guys like, which one do you think sounds better. You're gonna write it in the comments. We're gonna do an interior check. We're gonna check out both of the interiors. We're gonna do a drive. We're gonna have a whole bunch of fun. We're gonna just do a full-on comparison. Obviously, both of these are in the same generation. They're C8s, right? There's gonna be a lot of similarities, but also too, there's going to be some differences. So we're gonna let the viewers decide, which one do you want more? Which one is your style? Which one is your taste? Is it the Z06? Is it the eRay? You're gonna let us know in the comments. Maybe it's my eRay, maybe it's his Z06. Maybe it's another version of both of those. Maybe there's a different look that you guys like. Maybe you like different colors. I don't know. But in the comments, I want you to just keep writing comments. Keep writing, I like this, I like that, I don't like this, I don't like that. Whatever it is, let us know. But both of these are supercars. Both of these have a ton of power. There is over 1,300 horsepower sitting right behind me, and this is going to be sick. Both of these cars are looking absolutely gorgeous, but we're now gonna get into talking about them a little bit. But first, because I don't know this car that well, this 2024 beautiful C8 Z06, my friend here, Richard Malouf, he is going to describe his car. We're gonna go through the interior, we're gonna talk about the car, we're gonna talk about the exterior, we're gonna get into an exhaust check, we're gonna do all that stuff, and then we're gonna go on a fun drive. So Rich, you got the C8 Z06 here. Tell us a little bit about it, and then we'll jump into the interior, kind of go through that real quick, but yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, it's 2024 Z06. This is a new color, Sea Wolf Gray, which is unbelievable. And when I saw it first released, I was like, I don't know, there was something about it that I just fell in love with. And so I just love, it has a very simple stance. It has a very simple color to it, but the accents of the black just make this car look amazing.
So let's jump into the interior.
All right.
Let's look at the interior. Tell us why you did what you did. This definitely looks different than my eRay, but yeah, why'd you do what you did in here?
Yeah, it's a very simple spec. So in the other Z06 I have the 3LZ with the red leather interior, which is unbelievable. But I wanted to keep this extremely simple, but with the white stitching, there's just something about it that just stands out with this color. So I just thought together this combination looked amazing. And one thing that I really love is the roof is see-through, which is a really cool feature. So even though you can take that off, it still gives you, you know, that appearance of being on the outside, even with the roof on. So the spec is just very simple, but beautiful at the same time.
I like it a lot. It looks cool. This is really my style of doing the all black.
Yeah, you know, the red is really great, but I will tell you, you do get worried about it a little bit, trying to keep it clean, but it
clean
is,
and stuff.
it
That's
is
why
amazing.
I do black, because
Yeah.
I know, hey, it's a driver's car. You're gonna be driving
Yes.
it quite a bit, right? You're gonna be in and out. You know, you might eat in it. You know, grab some Chick-fil-A, whatever, some Chick-fil-A sauce.
Right. And as a daily driver, like a more daily driver than the other one, I just feel like it's going to withstand a little bit better than the red. So I don't know, just the very simple black, but that white stitching just gives it enough of a pop to just stand out and be beautiful.
It works. It definitely works. Cool. So now we're going to jump into the E-Ray. So now hopping into the E-Ray. So the reason why we went with this color scheme right here, we just felt like with this cacti green that you have on the outside, yes, we could have went with like the all black. We even thought about doing like a little bit more of a white interior, but then we thought about, you know, once again, it's a driver's car, the car that you're going to be driving in a lot. We wanted to do something that was a little bit darker so that, you know, you wouldn't find little small stains and things like that. But we went with this like brown interior with the black because it just felt like it accented well with this cacti green. And a lot of people who have seen this car have kind of agreed that, hey, they like it. We even kind of went with a little bit of the brown stitching too as well. You can see it on the wheels. Obviously a little bit of carbon fiber, but not a ton of carbon fiber. We didn't decide to do all this carbon fiber everywhere, although it's cool and nice. We just didn't do that. But I don't know, I liked it. I thought it looked cool. Like, and it's definitely different to kind of see that contrast between like this styling versus the all black that you got. In my Z06, that's how it is. I have the all black as well, just like you. So yeah, it is different, but this, for whatever reason, I felt like looked good with the E-Ray and the color that we have, the cacti green, like all this just made sense. We'll let the viewers decide, you know, write in the comments right now, what do you think? Would you have went with this color scheme for the C8 E-Ray, or would you have done something different? Would you went all white? Would you went red? Would you went pink? What would you have done? Is this what you like or is it not? Write it in the comments right now. What's your thoughts on the interior? Or would you have gone all black? All black is definitely something that's simple and easy and it works. What's your thoughts? Write in the comments right now. All right, now we're looking at both of these cars from the outside. We got them side by side. We're gonna compare the exteriors. We're gonna get Richard, let him talk about why he went with what he went with on the C8 Z06. Let him give his thoughts on basically, you know, why he spec'd it out like this.
Yeah, so again, I just wanted to keep it as simple as possible. I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this, but I have never been a fan of the Z07 package.
Oh.
I just, the wing and everything, it just wasn't for me. It's not my taste. So the one thing I love about this is how simple it is. Like there is no, you know, the front splitter. It's again, very simple. I didn't want to do a lot of extra to it. On my other car, I do have the black rims, but these rims I just think are dark, but they just have a nice tint to them that they really stand out with this color. So I definitely wanted to do that. I unfortunately could not get the carbon ceramic brakes. I got these. So
the steel ones,
the steel ones, which are fine.
Definitely gonna save you a lot of money in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely fine. And again, very simple. I know my other car came with the red Z06 badging. I didn't even put that on because I just like the black so much better. I just think it's cleaner.
I did that too as well on my Z06.
I just think it's cleaner. So again, even on my other car, I bought the black lug nuts, but for some reason these kind of worked on it.
Oh
so,
yeah, they definitely work.
Yeah, I just didn't want to do a lot of different things, and I also wanted it to be exact opposite from my other car. So in my other car, I have the black tailpipes. Here I have the chrome. Again, it's just a different look. But yeah, I just like this look. To me, it's just, again, simple and clean and classy.
And it works. It's still aggressive too
yeah.
as well. It doesn't look like you're missing anything.
Right. I mean, the high wing, when I see those cars in person, they are beautiful and I do like them. It just, for me personally, is not my thing.
Yeah, it's not your thing. Not your thing. Yeah. I mean, you don't plan on, I guess, road coursing this or anything like that. Yeah. So for this, it works.
Yeah, I think I do like driving it aggressive, but I always say this, I don't really want to take my cars on the track. Yeah. I'll take your car on the track. I just don't want to take my car on the track. I mean, these wheels are expensive. These tires are expensive. So.
They are.
But again, it is for me as a daily driver. It's just, I feel like it's not a look at me car. It's just stealthy and cool, and you know, people do ask me about it, but at the same time, again, I just want it to look like very simple, and I keep stressing that. But again, I'm into the clean look. And, you know, I saw in one of your other videos, your buddy had that lime green Huracan.
Yeah, the Huracan.
I could never drive that in a million years. I just couldn't. It's just not my style. But I appreciate people who do that, but it's just not my style. So that's why I spec'd it out this way.
And I think there's a lot of people out there who feel the same way. Like this is more their jam right there. Yeah. I can definitely respect that for sure. All right, so you just saw Rich's car. Now it's time to jump to the E-Ray, and I'm gonna talk about why I went with what I went with on the E-Ray. Taking a look at it, obviously a lot different, right? So he decided not to go with the front splitter on his. We decided to go with it on this one right here. I really do like the carbon fiber look, and it's so funny looking at this front splitter now compared to my Z06, where I have my Z07R, the one that we developed, which once again you can find at Iwuji But my splitter is so much more aggressive, so looking at this smaller one is kind of weird now. I thought that it was going to accent the car like right with this color scheme that we went with the cacti green. I just thought it was going to work. We went with the black badging all over the place, so you're going to see that right here with these Corvette badgings and the E-Ray badging and all that stuff. As far as the wheels, so I can tell you right now, I absolutely hate the wheels that the E-Ray came with, and that's why I went with the forged like wheels. So these right here are absolutely gorgeous. Love them. Once again, these are ones that we sell at Iwuji These wheels were just perfect for the E-Ray. The bronze wheels with this cacti green look was just, for me, perfectly, it just fit right. I knew I was gonna get these once we got the car, so I didn't worry about the wheels that came with the E-Ray. I do not like the stock wheels with the E-Ray. I don't know why they came with those ones, but I just don't like them. But these right here were great. 21 inch, 20 inch up front, 13 inch wide on the rear, I think 10 up front. These things were perfect. Color-wise, we went with the cacti green, and let me get into some lighting so you can see a little bit better. We went with the cacti green because we thought it was gonna be different, and it is. GM decided to have cacti green only for the 2024s, which is gonna make this a very rare color, rare car when it's all said and done. I really like that, and I'm glad they did that. It's gonna add value to this car over time. There's not gonna be a lot of cacti greens that were ever made, especially for the E-Rays, and we have one. We have VIN 34 cacti green right here with the bronze TF5 wheels from Forged Light, and also we went with these yellow calipers right here, which we thought was going to accent well with the cacti green, and we went with the carbon ceramic brakes as well. So all of this fits really well for the exterior of the car. Got a little bit of the black accenting and stuff with the E-Ray, but everything, it just works. It works with the E-Ray. That's kind of why we went with what we went with the car, and we think it looks good. So now you have both of these cars right here side by side. Both of them look incredible. Both of them are super aggressive. Both of them have the wide bodies. But viewers, go into the comments. Which one is your style? Is the Z06 style, the simpler, the more minimalist style, is that your style? Or do you look for the more aggressive with the big splitters and the wheels and all that stuff? Which one is your style? Write it in the comments right now. What do you like? What don't you like? Or if you have another idea of what you would do, write that in the comments right now. I wish I could put pictures in the comments, because then you could put pictures of your Corvettes if you have them. I would love to see them. But if you have another one, you can also describe what you went with your car in the comments right now. Actually, one thing I did forget was the exhaust, right? So on the E-Ray, you do not get the center exhaust, right? But then on the Z06, you do get the center exhaust. So what's your thoughts, viewers? Which one do you like more? Do you like the center exit exhaust, or do you like the ones that go off on the side on the E-Ray? Me, I actually personally like the Z06 one more. But they decided to do what they did with the E-Ray, and it's all good. It still looks good. But what's your thoughts? Do you like the side exit exhaust right here on the rear, or do you like the center exit exhaust on the Z06? Which one is more your style? So next up, we're going to do an audio check on the exhaust. We're going to first start off with idle. We're going to let these things idle, and you're going to hear the cold start because it is kind of chilly outside. And then after that, we're going to jump into a little bit of a rev battle so that you can hear what these things sound up when they wind right up. All right, Rich, you're going to fire this thing up. Let's hear this thing in cold start. Man, dude, that thing sounds so awesome. I love the C8 Z06 on cold start. It sounds so good. One of the best sounding cars on cold start. That thing sounds good, man.
Yeah, it's great. That's what sold me, man. Just hearing that thing start up is amazing.
Oh yeah. All right, so now got the C8 E-Ray here. I'm gonna do a cold start, but I'm gonna do a remote start from the outside. So let's hear what the idle sounds. Definitely not gonna be as loud as the Z06, but you're still gonna hear it at idle. And And that's what the C8 E-Ray sounds like from idle. Obviously not as loud as a C8 Z06, but still sounds good. What's your thoughts? I think majority of you in the comments right now are about to be like, Z06, 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 Z06. It's all good. But there is some of you who are a little bit more old school who like that little bit more lumpy, big V8, this 6.2 liter that you get in the C8 E-Ray. Some of you like that. All the C7 lovers out there, all the C6 lovers out there, some of you are like, you know what, the E-Ray is actually my style. So anyways, whichever one you like, right now in the comments, let me know. Is it the Z06 or is it the E-Ray? What is more your style? All right, so we're about to do the revs. We're gonna let the Z06 start first. Hopefully you don't get kicked out of this parking garage, but we'll at least let the Z06 ring. So whenever you're ready, Rich. Oh my God.
That was awesome.
This thing, I wasn't ready for like the first or the second one. Definitely the second one. I wouldn't even, my ear was like, ah. Dude, this thing sounds so good. I rarely get to stand on the backside of a Z06 when it gets to rev because I'm always in the car, and it sounds so much more different on the outside. This thing, and that's stock exhaust. I mean, that's stock exhaust, right? You don't have any kind of exhaust kit on it. That is stock exhaust right there. Wow. Oh my gosh. All right, so I have Rich in the car right now. I'm gonna let him rev up my E-Ray for me so you can hear what this 6.2 liter V8 sounds like. Whenever you're ready, Rich.
Okay.
And that's it. Looks like it's only letting you get to 4,000.
It won't let me go anything over that.
Yeah, it won't let you do more than that. So unfortunately, I got to figure out how to rev this thing up to like 6,000 RPM. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know.
Yeah, I was topping out at 4, so.
Yeah, so on the Z06, you hold both of the paddles and then you rev it, and you can rev it to the moon. For whatever reason, on the E-Ray, it's not letting you do that. So maybe there's some other way, not fully sure. But either way, at least got to let the thing sing up to 4,000 RPM. You get to hear the big V8 on this thing. Obviously, it sounds different. So viewers, let us know. What do you think? Is it the C8 E-Ray or is it the Z06? Which one is your favorite? I think I might know which one you're gonna all say, but hey, it's all good. Some people like that sound, some people like that sound. Which one? In the comments right now, let us know. So next up, we're gonna be going on the drive. We're gonna drive the C8 Z06 and we're gonna drive the C8 E-Ray. We're gonna roll around and we're gonna just get the experiential feel. Experiential, I don't know if I'm saying that, experiential feel of both of these cars. I don't think he's ever been in an E-Ray, so I think it's gonna surprise him when he's like, holy crap, this thing has some torque. So anyways, we're gonna jump into Z06, drive around, jump into C8 E-Ray, we're gonna feel it out, see which one, you know, just see what the thoughts are on both of them, and that's gonna be the next thing that's coming up next. All right, so we are in Richard's C8 Z06 2024. We're gonna go on a ride. Obviously, y'all know I have a C8 Z06 as well, so I know what these things feel like, but mine has gone through some modifications, so I haven't been in a stock one in a really long time, so this is gonna be very different than my slightly modded C8 Z06.
You know what I was noticing about yours, with the exhaust? Like, I love the center exhaust on the Z06, but there's like a appearance with your exhaust in the back. It makes your back end look really, really wide.
Oh.
Like when I was watching you pull off,
yeah,
goes to the center one because your eyes kind of go to the center. But when I look at the back of your car, my eyes kind of go to the exhaust, and it makes the appearance that your back end is wider, even though they're the same size. It's kind of a cool difference in them. The one thing that I wish Chevy would have done, I'm not a big fan of those square diffusers.
Yeah. And I feel you on that one.
I just wish they would have put round ones. I just don't know.
Yeah, this thing sounds so good. Even stock. Even stock, this sounds so good. And it's so different for me being on the passenger side here because, yeah, for me, like, I don't get a chance to be on my passenger side. I'm always driving. It sounds different to me when I'm driving. It feels different to me when I'm driving. Everything's just different.
Yeah, I know the neighbors don't really love me because this thing goes rev so high in first gear.
Yeah.
That you're just literally like...
Oh, yeah. When you're driving through the neighborhood, it's like, what?
Like, won't change gears until like 40 miles an hour. And I'm like, people think I'm like speeding through the neighborhood. I'm just really not. It's just revs. So.
And I know the viewers are getting to hear the exhaust. So the microphone, we have one in here so that you can listen to us, but also one on the outside as well so that you can hear the beautiful exhaust, because the exhaust sounds different on the outside of the car than it does on the inside.
Yeah, I don't know what I like better, the acceleration or the downshifts.
The downshifts, that's what I tell people with this car. The downshifts are just absolutely insane. Every time this car downshifts, it's so aggressive. The sound is so aggressive, and you can hear from like a mile away. It's one of the best downshifting cars as far as like sound and feel of any that I've ever been in.
Yeah, it's amazing. I just love that part of it. And again, you get the pops.
All the pops and bangs, all that stuff from the factory. Exactly. You don't have that stupid BMW like, you know, tune or whatever where you like have all the crazy pops that don't sound good. This thing is nuts. Sounds so good. The acceleration is just so instantaneous. Even like in the grip too, for like a rear wheel drive car, like it's pretty good. Like in a C7 Z06, you couldn't have done that like that. You would have been spinning your tires.
Right. I feel like I'm in control so much. Like I never feel squirrely. Like the tires are just getting out from underneath me. So this car just gives me so much confidence when I'm driving it. It feels so solid. And other cars I've had that have been, you know, I had that RWS R8, the rear wheel drive series.
Yeah.
And then I didn't feel as confident as I do when I'm driving this at all.
Yeah, no, definitely different cars. I mean, and that's one thing I like, you know, with the C8 Z06 is like, it definitely inspires confidence. When you're in this car, you feel like you can do a lot, and it gives you a lot, and it allows you to, for the most part, do it fairly safely, which is a nice thing.
And I'm not a professional race car driver, but in my mind, sometimes I feel that way when I'm driving.
It definitely gives you that feel. Well, the actual C8 Z06 GT3R is based off of this car. The chassis is the same chassis. The motor shares 70% of the same parts. So the engines that we have here in the Z06 literally is the same, for the most part, the same engine that you get in the actual race car that they race in IMSA and in the WEC series. So it's pretty wild. Like we share race car parts with the race car.
Right. No, it's amazing. I mean, it's, again, from the moment this, you know, I heard it start up, got behind the wheel and drove it. And again, I didn't think there was going to be that big a difference between my 70th anniversary and this. And honestly, I tell people, it's not even the same car. It's just not. I mean, aesthetically, yes, we know that, but when that engine starts up and you hear it, it's, to me, I don't know, I've never experienced something just straight off the factory floor like this, ever.
Yeah, GM definitely did an amazing job with this car. Once they built this thing, they designed it, everything. Sound, acceleration, handling, performance, grip, look, everything. It's just perfect. Everything's in sync, it works, and it's truly proving it. We're seeing it on tracks all over the world. This car is just setting record after record and just absolutely crushing it. The C8 Z06 is just on a whole nother level. It's nice driving in beautiful Dallas. I love all these overpasses. This thing gets up and goes. It gets up and goes. I gotta love it. The C8 Z06 is like a miles per gallon car. Every single gallon of fuel you're using, you're just putting just the biggest smile on your face. Every acceleration, every pull, every downshift, every corner, every turn, even idling, it just sounds good. Even just driving in a little parking lot slow, it still sounds good. You just drive around like, you know, idle speed in a parking lot at first gear, it still sounds amazing. Like you don't even have to drive it hard for it to sound good. Other cars, you gotta drive it hard for it to like sound somewhat decent. This is like one of the first cars I've ever had where even at like chilling speeds, it sounds good. It sounds amazing. You don't even gotta do anything.
Yeah, my R8, my RWS, I just, again, could not get the feeling out of it that I wanted, because it's just a very refined car. It looks amazing, but it's very refined. And I had a tune done to it, still nothing. And when I started driving this, and just obviously you can hear the sound and the downshifts, all the stuff I was trying to recreate with that RWS R8, I have here from the factory.
From the
I was
factory.
spending thousands of dollars trying to make it into something it could never be.
Yep.
Because it just wasn't. Again, it's just a totally different thing than what we have here, and I wanted it to be this, and it never was, and it's just disappointing because it's, you know, a V10, and you think to yourself it's going to sound and blow off the doors and have all the pops and the acceleration. It just didn't. So again, anybody who still questions, you know, whether this is a supercar or not, they need to get behind the wheel, and I guarantee they'll never think the same about a Corvette, because I'm proof that that is the case. I never had a Corvette in my life until I had the 70th anniversary, but then when I got to this, I can't imagine having or spending anything else. Someone asked me the other day, what's going to be your next car? And honestly, I could not even come up with an answer of what I would want to have after this.
Because it's like, what's next? What's better?
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. So, I don't know. I'm a true believer and a self-proclaimed evangelist for the Z06 because it is just an amazing car.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. It's so intoxicating driving this car. That's what I tell people, too. I tell people it's the most intoxicating car I've ever owned. Like, everything you do in it, every input you give it, it likes it, it responds to it, and it gives you exactly what you want, and that's happiness.
Right. I mean, it's like it's bored at low speeds. It just wants to go. But even daily driving, it gives me the pleasure of, you know, again, listen to these downshifts.
It sounds so good.
It's just, I don't know, it's just nothing better. I love taking people out in it for the first time because the look on their face and their reaction is just like, I had no idea this was like this. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, well, what'd you do? What kind of exhaust? What kind of, like,
I know.
nothing.
Every time I hear the exhaust, I'm just like, it sounds like it's aftermarket.
Right.
And it's like, no, this is stock. This is how it comes like.
Right. And anybody who knows this kind of cars, these, you know, rear engine cars or mid engine cars, to put an exhaust on these, like my R8, to put an exhaust on it, I had to remove the entire back of the car.
Yeah.
And it was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of money, a lot of time. You know, I had a Fab Speed exhaust on my car.
Yeah.
It's a $4,000 exhaust to just almost get it to sound like this. And
Yeah.
you get that from the factory with this, and it's again, I just don't know what I can tell people to help them understand, like, out of the box what this thing is.
Yeah, there really isn't anything like it. And yeah, you're absolutely correct. Everyone wants to sound like this, so they got to go spend that extra money. You don't have to do it. Everyone has to go buy titanium exhaust, this and that, just to get close to this. We're already like this, and then we add exhaust on top of this. It changes up the game even more. It's it is something that GM just knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
Somebody pissed GM off, and they were like, you know what? Hold my beer. Right. And then they made the C8 Z06. Right. Man, it's incredible.
Yeah, no, it's again, they just did such a good job, and you know, I'm converted. I never had an American car, sports car. I just did not believe in them. I just thought everything was on another level that was not this. You know, the Germans, and you know, obviously everything that's going on, and a lot of it too was like the interiors and everything, and they just couldn't put it all together. You know, sometimes they'd have nice exteriors, and then the interior still left so much to be desired. But again, they did a great job.
They crushed it. All the Porsche lovers are just punching in the air right now. I like Porsches though, but all the other ones that are diehards who just can't see anything else are just punching the air. When the Z06 came out, they're like, oh my God, something that's better than our cars. It came out, and what are we gonna do? We're paying all this money for something that's less than a Z06, you know? And like I said, I do like the Porsches. I like the GT3s. I love the GT3 RSs. They're amazing vehicles. But I look at the price and I'm like, okay, am I gonna pay $250 for a GT3 when at most tracks it's slower than a Z06 and it doesn't sound as good as a Z06? and it doesn't look as aggressive as a Z06, I just don't know, you know?
No, it's hard to justify.
Yeah, I know, it is.
It is. It's a very difficult pill to swallow. And the only other car I had that kind of made me feel this way when I first drove it was I had a 2010 911 Turbo. And the feel of that just pushed me back in my seat. I had Carrera S's prior to that, so this was just a whole different level. But again, it's still nothing like this. And again, Huracans, R8s, AMG GTs, nothing I've driven even remotely comes close. And those cars are significantly more expensive.
Yeah.
And I think that's the other part. It's not only is the car amazing, but what you can get entry level to get in this car and how much it costs versus those other cars is just, that is, like if you were doing a pros cons list, and even though this would probably beat all the pros anyway, versus the cons, when it came to the price, that's just, I mean, that's everything. You're just like, done. I got it. I want it.
Yeah.
I don't know, it has been such a great experience for me owning one. You know, I mean, there are some things that I wish Chevy would do. I think.
Want to hear that beautiful exhaust in the parking garage?
You know, I like some of those other cars. You guys sound that. Really have like the service down, like the experience. I kind of wish we would get to that level too.
Yeah.
But other than that, that would probably be my only downfall. Like, oh, I wish that. But other than that, there's just no comparison.
Next up is going to be the E-Ray. We're going to hop in that thing, and I'm actually going to let Rich drive it so he can feel what an E-Ray feels like. He's going to be surprised. He's going to be like,
anxious because I've never driven one before, so
it's going to be crazy.
To
All right, we're going to let Richard hop in real quick, and he's going to drive the E-Ray. It's going to be his first time ever driving the E-Ray. I mean, I could drive it, but I've already driven this thing plenty of times. I want to see what someone else feels and what their experience is when they drive it. Richard's first time in an E-Ray. It's gonna feel different. It's gonna feel different.
So as far as suspension setup and everything, it's different, right?
It is. It's not all tracked out like the Z06 is. It's definitely different, but it's still pretty good. It is actually really, really good. Still handles great. The car just might feel a little bit heavier, you know, but it's still very good. Nimble, turns well. Doesn't feel like a bus or anything like that. Although I haven't road coursed it yet, but I've just seen some lap times. Certain places it's a little bit slower than the Z06, but you know, this car was never meant to be a road course monster. It was meant to be a dig monster.
So what about like gas mileage on this? Have you noticed?
Shoot, I haven't checked.
You know,
I haven't checked.
Because I tell you what my car doesn't get is good gas mileage.
Yeah, these cars in general, they'll never get great. Unless you're on the highway cruising and you're not hitting it a lot, then you can get 300 plus miles, 300 to 350. But yeah, if you're romping on it, yeah, you're definitely not. You can stand on it and it's gonna go. That's crazy, right?
Wow.
Yeah, picks up and goes.
I was not expecting that. That is for sure.
That was just a little bit too.
Whoa. I guess in the Z06, because of the noise, you just assume it, but wow.
Yeah.
What a totally different sound, but
yeah, yeah, it picks up and goes. No drama, nothing. No wheel spin, nothing. Just goes.
This is all-wheel drive too, right?
All-wheel drive,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
All-wheel drive.
Wow, I gotta be honest. I wasn't expecting.
This thing has less horsepower than the Z06.
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the first thing I noticed with this E-Ray. I was like, just the grip on just being able to just get out of the hole and go.
Right.
It's crazy. Like, this thing gets up and goes. You'll see it when you get onto the on-ramp to get on the highway. You're gonna be like, holy crap, like, what's going on? Like, this thing is just a monster.
Yeah, I'm just gonna replicate almost like the same drive, so that I can get an idea of like
the feel.
It's just the sound.
You hear that electric sound. You know, you hear the electric motors working. You hear the 6.2 V8. Obviously, the exhaust in the rear isn't as loud as the Z06, but still, this thing is just, man.
Yeah, I think that's what's throwing me off, like mentally, is because of the sound isn't the same. But man, Okay, let's try this again. Hopefully I have the same.
You'll have the same feeling.
But even you, I mean, the first time you drove it, weren't you like, oh my God?
Oh yeah, I was like, dude, this thing goes. This thing picks up and goes. You have to beat him. It gets up and goes. Even me, I'm like, ooh. That's crazy. It's intoxicating, right?
Yeah, I'm shocked.
That torque is crazy.
It's crazy. I'm shocked.
Like,
I was not expecting that. Like, I guess I expected with the Z06. I was not expecting that.
with this, yeah, you're like, nothing else can do that.
Yeah.
Nah, the E-Ray. The E-Ray.
Different sound.
Oh, yeah. We're like, hold on, do I need an E-Ray in my life?
Oh my gosh. I can't believe, it's just like, you know, like we were saying, anything even from the regular C8 Stingray to the Z06 to this, how can we have like 3 cars so drastically different, you know?
Yeah.
It's amazing. I mean,
And they are.
It's amazing. It's just nothing, I mean, I feel like I'm in the same type of car.
Yeah, because the interiors are all the same,
Right.
but the performance is all different, way different.
That is, wow, I'm impressed. I was never expecting, I know I've seen things and watched some videos, but I was never, you know, expecting that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
The thing picks up and goes, especially, I love it from a dig. You just, I mean, it's just like, dude, this thing is just it's a crazy monster.
Yeah, it is.
Like, you just, it is like, I would say, like the R35 GTR of Corvettes. Like, you don't, yeah, there's just nothing else that does what this thing does. And you step on it, it just goes.
Yeah, that's really impressive.
Yeah.
Really impressive.
I love this car. It's so much fun.
No, it's great.
It goes, man. It goes.
It's really good.
It goes.
It's really good.
It accelerates and goes. It still handles well too.
Yeah. I mean,
know,
I don't feel like I'm missing
anything. Yeah. No, this thing is just a monster. It's a torque monster, dig monster. Like, you can go to the drag strip, and on street tires, the car is only like a 1/10 of a second slower than on drag radials, which is just crazy.
Right.
Because most cars, that's not the case. Usually drag radials are giving you a lot better time, like, you know, a few tenths. This, you know, it's very, very close because of that all-wheel drive system. Just hooks and goes. I actually want to take it back to the drag strip this winter and see what we can do and see if we can go accomplish, you know, we did 10.6 last time. I want to see if we can get down to 10.4, 10.3 range or something like that. This can definitely do it, especially with good weather.
You know, I think the stiffness in the suspension for the Z06 versus the all-wheel drive, it offsets it. You know, I feel like my confidence is still there because it's holding.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, I mean, the one thing with all the different Corvette generation, or at least Corvettes varieties that you have in the C8 generation, they all handle well. Yeah. From Stingray up to E-Ray, they all handle well. The ZR1 will too. The Zora will as well.
If they ever come out.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, these cars they're good. They're good. You can, whatever you want, there's something in the C8 world for you. You can have the all-wheel drive monster. You can have the rear-wheel drive stuff. You can have the flat plane crank, exotic sound. You can have all that stuff. It has it all. Whatever you want, there's something for you in the C8 Corvettes. We're seeing it. We're experiencing it. What a time to be alive with these cars.
You know, I was thinking to myself, like, for some people, the Z06 might just be too much. Like, it's kind of crazy. Right?
It is. It's crazy. Yeah.
And this, if someone was like, okay, that exhaust is a little much, but if I want the same performance, you could get this and not again have all that coming into the cabin and that loudness. So this is like what a perfect blend of both of them.
It's a chill cruiser that is freaking quick.
Right. I I feel like this sits really well in between the base Stingray and the Z06, but actually tilts a little bit more toward the Z06.
Yeah, as far as performance, speed and everything. Yep.
Yeah, so I think it's they did a really good job.
Yeah. No, they crushed it with this car. And yeah, I always say the E-Ray honestly is for 90% of Corvette owners. Like, this is the car for them, because you have a car that isn't as crazy aggressive sounding as the Z06, but man, it can grip and rip, and it's not rear-wheel drive, it's all-wheel drive, so people aren't going to get themselves into trouble. You're not going to leave Cars and Coffee and loop it into a pole. It's just going to go. It's just going to go, and it's going to have grip and do it well, which is something that, not rear-wheel drive cars typically, they're a little bit harder to drive. This car is perfect for 90% of Corvette owners.
So do you think that you'll see kind of northern states?
Yeah, people in the north, this is the best car for them, especially if you go through different weather and stuff, because this thing can drive, like, it can do high performance driving in the wet weather, in the rain, in the snow. It can do it. In fact, one of the first marketing videos for this car was in the snow, So this car is, I guess I'll say, this is meant for 90% of Corvette owners. Like, this is the perfect Corvette for them.
Yeah, because, you see a lot of people online, with their farewell to their car, putting it away for the winter, And
you don't have to do it with this. You don't have to do it with this. You can keep driving it. Just put on winter tires, of course, so they don't freeze, But yeah, this car, you can drive it in the winter, you can drive it in the snow, you can drive it in the rain, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be just summer. Crazy thing is, I drove my C8 Z06 in the winter when it was 20 degrees here in Dallas, and that was interesting. But I still had fun.
Yeah.
You got to get the Pilot 4S Sport 4S tires, because the Cup 2Rs probably wouldn't do well in 20 degree weather. Yeah. Speaking of R8s, there's an R8 right there.
Yeah, that's nice.
R8 V10, I believe. Yep.
Yeah, those Cup 2 tires seem like forever to warm.
To warm up, you really got to scrub them in, get them warm, get them right.
Like a buddy of mine with that GT350 has those, and they are...
Get one more pull in here. It pulls. It gets up and goes, and that electric sound with an electrifying car. This thing is, I love this car. I love jumping back in the E-Ray and driving it. I love my Z06 too, but it is a nice change of pace hopping into the E-Ray.
But to your point, we're both in here. We've driven them multiple times.
Oh yeah.
And we're smiling still, like it's like we're
like it's like your first time. Like it's the first time.
It's crazy. I mean, I think that is really good.
Yeah.
Really, really good. And the sound is, even though it's different, it's got a cool, kind of low tone to it, but it's really nice.
Yep. Absolutely correct.
Push me back in the seat.
No, this car is great. I love it.
Yeah. So nice. It's also, like I said, it's a nice.
And it recharges too, so you're back at 100% now.
It's just a nice combo of everything, It's without being too much over the top, it's just good. Man.
It does it all. Like, this is the best overall, well-rounded Corvette.
Yeah. Oh, and you have the same.
Yeah, so I did this on the Z06 as well. Did the sunroof thing where you can see. I really like that because it just gives you a more open, spacious look. First time I saw one of these was in a P1, a McLaren P1. I really liked it a lot. And then I saw it again in a C7 Stingray, and then I really liked it a lot. And then since then I was like, okay, any other Corvettes I get, I have to get this roof. And unfortunately my C7 Z06, I couldn't get it because I didn't buy that one brand new. But these cars, since I got them new, I was like, okay, I got to do it since I can spec it out myself.
Yeah, they're really, really nice. But it does make a big difference. Nice, even at idle,
it's chill. It's quiet. You can hear yourself think.
Yeah. mean, it's true. I mean, there are sometimes, honestly, I'll be in my car and someone will call me and I'm like, oh, I don't want to answer the phone, and then I answer it and they're like, where are you? Like, what's happening?
Yeah, it's like, why is it so loud? No, this car is just way more chill.
Yeah.
Then when you want to get on it, you can.
But it's nice because you get to experience both.
Yeah.
So when you want all that, you know, you have it at your fingertip, and then you have this when you get here.
Exactly. Yeah, this thing can definitely guzzle some gas too, especially when we're doing pulls.
Yeah. Jeez.
I think I was like close to half a tank before I left the house, and then like by my pulls coming here, your pulls, we use about a quarter of a tank.
Yeah, I love watching my fuel tank just.
Oh yeah, it's. I go on a nice drive with my friends. Yeah, half a tank easily. I'm like, oh man.
But it actually doesn't do. I didn't do too bad coming up from the Woodlands as far as gas mileage.
Yeah, like cruising on the highway is not bad.
Yeah.
If you keep it chill, you know, go 70, 80, whatever the whole way. You're not accelerating super hard. Yeah, this would be good. If we do exhaust on this, then it's really going to open it up.
Yeah.
I think the Stingray exhaust, which is pretty much what comes on this, is very quiet and tame. But the moment you get something else bigger and better on it,
right.
just like any other old school Corvette, not old school, C7, C6, it really opens it up. The Z06, they just made like dang near straight piped,
Yeah.
but they didn't for these because they wanted to keep it more chill,
Right.
and then have it be everybody's Corvette, you know? Like this is for the aggressive person, the Z06. The E-Ray is for the everybody who still wants to be able to just turn and burn.
Just for two different people.
Yeah.
That are getting this car.
Exactly. Cool. So now we've gotten a chance to test both cars. Rich here had a good time driving in the E-Ray. Also, we drove in his C8 Z06. Everyone in the comments, which one did you think was a better experience? Obviously, you're not driving it, you're not feeling it by watching the video, but you can probably see like, whoa, these cars are both different cars, both amazing cars, both have great qualities. I mean, there's nothing bad I can say about these cars. They're really, really awesome. But now that you've gotten to see both of them, what's your thoughts? Put it in the comments. Rich, what's your thoughts? I mean, you got to drive both of them today. What's your thoughts? I've obviously driven both these cars for a long time, but like for you, how was it now? Driving the E-Ray versus driving your Z06, all that stuff.
It's just the same, but completely different. I don't know if that makes sense or helps anybody, but
yeah.
I mean, like, I love the Z06, the sound, the intensity. I just wasn't expecting this to be that fast.
Yeah.
And the sound is different, but also awesome. So it just gives you this weird, like a lower tone sound, and this is probably better daily to live with than the Z06. So again, just like we talked about, two very different experiences. I think this falls in between the regular Stingray and the Z06, but I think it's upticked a lot more toward the Z06. So you're not sacrificing all the performance, you're just sacrificing a few of the things with the sound, the exhaust and all that. This is my first time ever driving an E-Ray, and I have to be honest with you, I wasn't that big of a believer. I was like, I don't, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing. So at the end of the day, you can't go wrong with either one.
Exactly.
I mean, you're pretty much flip a coin. I guess what is nice, what Chevrolet did, this can appeal to two different people with two different tastes, and they're still going to get the satisfaction of amazing cars.
Exactly.
So,
exactly. Now, I definitely understand that, definitely feel that. Yeah, I mean, both of these cars are amazing cars. GM did an amazing job. You just got to see a supercar comparison between both of them. The C8 Z06, the C8 E-Ray, both of them on the channel. You finally got to see it. Maybe one day I'll take both to the track and we'll see what the C8 Z06 does against the C8 E-Ray. I know a lot of you want to see that. I just got to make it happen one day, but that's not going to be today. Today was just a normal comparison. One day we'll do a track comparison. But anyways, thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you tune in some more of my videos. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Like the video, comment on the video, leave multiple comments, share it with your buddies, show everyone, continue to help support this channel so I can keep making fun videos. If you have other cars you want me to compare an E-Ray with or a C8 Z06 with, let me know in the comments. I'll see if I can pull it together. I don't own every car in the world, but I do have friends who have different cars, so I try to make things happen when I can. But anyways, thank you all for tuning in. It's been fun. I know it's been a longer video, but hopefully you enjoyed it. And that's it. We're out.